Hi guys! So I was not planning on doing a video this morning, but there's been a lot of talk these last few days about social media and how fake it is and this and that, and I have a lot of thoughts. I actually even sat here for like 5 minutes before I started the video thinking, when you have like so much to say and then it gets to that moment and you just like blank. I've read a lot of different viewpoints. I've watched quite a few videos. I've really tried to look at every single side and perspective. And I think every single perspective has an amazing point, and I agree with a lot of it. And I think it's amazing that this is even being discussed because I think that pretty much every single person at one point in time has looked at a page or someone's picture and been like, wow, like that's amazing. Why am I not like that? Or why can't I look like that, etc. Absolutely do not think that social media is real life. There's a lot that goes on behind it, not just with people's personal lives. Remember, people post on social media just what they want you to see. And of course, they're not going to want you to see the emotional breakdowns, and fighting and, other really serious things that are facts of life. No one's life is perfect. Really, the main point that I want to touch on is just that you should never compare yourself to someone that you see online. And this is something that I really try to convey in my messages, that health and fitness, and there's so many different Instagram accounts that post purely physical, just like body images, and I really try to not focus too much on the physical side of it, but I really try to put an emphasis on how you feel and the emotional and mental benefits that health and fitness gives you. But that's really hard to do when Instagram is a visual platform. No matter how much you try to just put your message out there, there's always going to be a physical judgment, and that leads to physical comparisons. I think that the bottom line for me is that social media is what you make of it. And for me, it's been an amazingly positive thing. I have been inspired to continue living a healthy life directly because of social media. If I didn't have my Instagram account, I would probably have lasted 2 weeks. And I love sharing my journey to inspire others. I think that there absolutely are negative side effects of being on Instagram and having followers, which I think is stupid to say followers. I think that you guys are like my friends. I love talking to you guys and being real with you. The thing that I want is I don't want anyone to ever compare themselves or to think that they see someone's life on social media and think, wow, like I want their life. Like, I want you to use social media and look at people that you admire as like, wow, like they worked hard to get there. I can do it too. I want you to use social media as your inspiration, not as your, reason to doubt yourself or to think that you can't be that great too. Because, I get a lot of messages asking like, how can I get followers? How did you get to where you're at today? And I'll save that for another video because that's a really, really long discussion. But, all I could ever ask for is to help inspire people to be better, not to compare themselves or not to think that they're being judged solely for a physical basis. As I mentioned, I think social media is what you make of it, and this is something that I've had to figure out on my own. I've been using Instagram as, the source of documenting and talking about my journey for almost 3 years now. And I've gone through a lot of different stages of, seeing girls on Instagram and being like, wow, they're beautiful. I've always been the type that I'm like, she's gorgeous. So I would start seeing girls on Instagram and be like, wow, she's really beautiful, like whatever. And not that being beautiful even means anything. Like, you didn't do anything to be beautiful. You were born that way, so anyways, but as a society, of course, unfortunately, we look to people's physical characteristics and their beauty, and we almost base their credibility, their intelligence, their, everything on how they look. And that's one thing that I've always refuted. That's actually one thing that prevented me from getting into fitness in the beginning. This is really bad, but before I was into fitness or eating healthy, I hated it. Like I literally, if you were someone who like ate super healthy or like worked out, I would almost look at you and be like, "Oh, you think you're so cool. Like you eat healthy, you want to eat a salad. Like go ahead, I'm going to have my burger." I thought that they were better than everyone or that they were cool because they ate healthy. And now I know that it's about so much more than that. It's about the, emotional, mental benefits, the health benefits above anything else. And that's what I love about social media is that I'm able to share my journey with you guys, share my thoughts with you guys, and I hope that it helps someone. And, I think that the value in social media is as much as it can seem so fake, and it is, there's absolutely a side of it that is completely fake and contrived. But there's another side where you can be like, hey, like, I'm just a real person, like, I'm no better than someone who has 100 followers. Followers don't mean anything. Followers they absolutely do not give you self-worth or self-validation, and they shouldn't. Back to the point that, I've gone through a lot of different stages in my social media journey. I've seen someone been like, wow, she's beautiful, that's great. And then it started transitioning to, wow, she's beautiful, why don't I look like that? Then it went a step further and it was like, I am busting my ass in the gym. I'm working so hard day in and day out, eating as perfect as I emotionally can. And why don't I look like that? It was more like, why am I working so hard and I'm not getting results to look like her? And that's hard, and it can be discouraging, and it can make you want to give up because you think that your efforts, are worthless. And I think that you really have to rephrase your mindset and really focus on you and your journey and use other people as your motivation to keep going. Don't use people as your reason to give up. Like, we are all different. We're genetically different, literally. Like, I spend the same amount of time in the gym eating the same foods as someone else, our bodies are going to react differently. There's no magic pill that I can be like, I'm going to give you this and you're going to do this and it's going to affect you this way. We're all different. That's something that's really hard because on social media, you see all these pictures and you think, I want to look like her. How can I look like her? But I don't ever want anyone to want to look like someone else or look like me. Look like yourself, but be the best that you can be. Be healthy. Be, focus on improving any and every aspect possible. I just posted a Snapchat yesterday. It was about, it's something really little. It was about my Italian homework. And, then I posted another one and I said, I said something about like, I thought I was done with school, which I did think I was done with school. And I was like, but, we should never stop learning. And I thought about that for a while. And I was like, I always thought to myself, like, I can't wait until school is over. Like, I just never, ever want to open a book again. Absolutely not. Like, you should always be learning about something. It doesn't need to be textbook material or content. It can be learning about yourself, learning about the world, learning about whatever it is that interests you. You should never stop learning. So anyways, I think that there's a lot of positive sides to social media. There's a lot of negative sides. I think that you can't completely control how it affects you. I think that there's a lot of emotional and, mental aspects of it that you have to work through. It's not something that you can be like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to look at this and it's going to make me happy instead of make me feel sad about myself. It's not like that. You have to seriously, day in and day out, tell yourself, that does not define me, or, just because she looks great or whatever, it doesn't mean that I can't look great, but in my own way. And I'm not saying that means it's always going to be butterflies and rainbows. It's not. There are going to be moments where it's kind of hard. And that's just being a human. I think that social media exaggerates it a bit, because of what is being put in front of our face. But it's normal to go through ups and downs and to, worry if you're doing the right thing or if you should be doing something better. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it just depends on how you use it. What I want people to do is to use social media as something to be like, this person has worked so hard to get to where they're at. I can do it too. Not look at where that person is. I can never get there. Don't use social media and all these, pictures that you see as something to discourage you from getting there. Use it as a reason to get there, to say, they did it, I can do it too. Yes, it's going to take a lot of hard work. I think one thing that is minimized on social media is how hard it is to actually get those results. I think that people just see a before and after and think like, oh, that, they just see the images. They don't see the journey. They don't see all the ups and the downs. And this is something that when I talk about my journey and I talk about the downs, it's not because I want a pity party. I'm not trying to get people to feel sad for me. Sorry, there's a fly. I'm trying to share my journey so that you know that those feelings are normal and that, you might go through that and that's okay. And sometimes going through those downs is what makes you say, like, you know what? This is hard, but I can do it. You almost need to hit rock bottom sometimes to draw the strength to push yourself. Another thing that helped me is since I do work, this is my job, people ask me how I support myself, and, I literally had nothing before Instagram and my ebooks, and I'm happy to use something so positive to be able to help others and support myself. I wouldn't change it for the world. I would do it for free if I didn't have to support myself. I'm sorry. We all have bills. I think that's pretty understandable. Once, all these really amazing fitness women started popping up, and, I told you I went through different stages where I was like, wow, she's beautiful. And then, wow, she's beautiful, and why don't I look like that when I'm busting my ass? And then other sides that I'm like, this industry that we work in is an amazingly positive industry where we're all changing people's lives. And I look at other women in the industry and I say, like, you go, girl. Like, you are making a positive impact on other people's lives. Just because you are doesn't mean I can't. It doesn't mean that we're in competition, that, that if you're inspiring people, that means I can't inspire them too. I think that I see a lot of women competing on Instagram, and I think that women should be happy for each other and support each other. And if there's any woman out there, and no matter how many followers she has, no matter what she's doing with her life or her business or whatever, I think that it's amazing. And we all have the opportunity to make social media a better place. And I think that's what we should do, because whether we want to use social media or not, it's going to exist. And I think that the people who can make a positive impact, we need more of you. Don't leave us. Like, we need more of you to, make social media a better place. We can, we should use our voice on social media to make a positive impact and drown out all the bad and all the negativity, and, remind girls that you're doing this to be a better you, not to compare yourself to someone else. I have a lot more thoughts on the topic, but I'm going to stop here for now. And if you guys are interested, I can do more videos on this topic in the future. I try to make any content that I put out there be more about you guys and more about something that can help you guys more so than about me and my life. But you guys are asking me some questions, so I at least want to answer them for you. But please let me know what else you guys want to see. And thank you guys for listening. I know this is a little bit of a scattered talk, but I wanted to talk about it while this was fresh of mind, so maybe I'll have more thoughts on it later. So thank you guys. Talk to you next time.
You lose fat from your overall body, including from your breasts. And since breasts are thigh slimming exercises, actually they're not really going to do anything for you, unfortunately.